Hey guys, it's Hazeltail, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Smashbox, the Masterclass Palette 2. This is what it looks like. It has a really reflective surface, which shows fingerprints, but I don't really mind. And then embossed on the bottom it says Smashbox, and it says the same thing on the side, and it's meant to look like a book. And then on the back, it just has the name of the palette and some information. This is what the inside looks like. You get 28 eyeshadows, 4 gel liners, 6 blushes, and 2 shades that they've labeled highlight colors. Before I talk about the products themselves, I just want to make a quick mention about the packaging. The packaging is really actually kind of cheap. It doesn't have any kind of way to stay closed. It doesn't have a magnet or something to wrap around it or anything, so even if you put it up, it doesn't stay closed. And this didn't happen to me, but one of the YouTube people who talks about makeup, I can't remember who, the binding gave out on hers and it like got destroyed kind of, which sucks. And on mine, this one eyeshadow right here is always popping out. I don't know if you can tell, but when I push on it, it moves. And I'm really concerned it's going to fall out, so I'm not going to hold that up very much longer. But it's not secure at all, but the rest of them seem to be. One good thing about the packaging, though, is that you get these protective covers, but they also come with the names and different trios divided out for you, again, for if you're not sure where to start with all the colors, which I like that a lot. If you're not feeling very inspired the day you put your makeup on, it's all laid out right there, and then you get 4 neutral colors at the bottom, which are all matte. And now I am going to swatch the colors for you guys, and I'll be right back with that. Here are the first 4 trios I have swatched. This first one is called Headshot, and the first color is a light, creamy, shimmery color called Linen, and it's hard to see on my hand. It mostly gives it a sheen because it's really close to my skin tone. Then you get a color called Golden Orchid, which is really beautiful, and I'm not sure if it's picking up entirely on camera, but it is a really warm pink that has flashes of gold in it, and I really like it, and it's so pretty. And then there is this color called Chestnut, which is a really warm shimmery brown. All these colors swatched really nicely. They're really buttery. And then this trio, which is also kind of hard to see on my skin tone, is called Heliograph. And the first shade is called Nectar, and it's kind of a warm beigey skin tone color. Darker than my skin, of course, but neutral. Then there's the shade called Peacock, which is a really light pastel green that is really shimmery, but I find it to be really flaky and hard to build up even when you layer it. And then the shade on the end is called Mocha, which is similar to Chestnut, but it leans more yellow than red, I think. And it has some sparkle in it. That color also is slightly dry, but it's easier to build up than Peacock. This trio right here is called Focal Point, and the first color is a champagne shimmery color, which is called Champagne. And I really like that one. You could definitely just throw that all over your lid in one go and not have to worry about a crease color, and that would be fine. And then under that we have a shade called Flamingo, which is similar to Golden Orchid, but it's more orangey and bright, and there's less of a gold shift and just glitter in it. And then we have Java, which is a dark warm brown, and it's matte, and It's the best matte color that I've seen so far in the palette. And then the final trio is called Quick Take, and the first shade is called Vanilla, which is a matte creamy shade, which is super similar to my skin tone. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, maybe. And it's kind of dry, but it still works. And then we have a shade called Ambient, which is a warm, very warm copper color with gold in it. And that's a shimmery color, and it's called Ambient, and I love it, and it's so buttery and so creamy. And the final shade is a dark jewel tone emerald green. I'm not sure if it's an emerald green, but it's a really dark green with green sparkle and shimmer. And that shade also goes on like a dream. It is beautiful. I just showed all the swatches, but the camera wasn't filming. Ugh, I'm going to try and show you again. This first trio is called Cover Shoot, and this light shimmery color is called Flirt. And it's really similar to Linen, but it's much cooler in tone, and it's more shimmery. This next color is called Dusk, and it's a warm taupe color, and it's kind of a satin finish. This next color is called Haze, and it's a smoky, dusty, purpley brown, and it's matte, and it's actually really pigmented. This next trio is called Hyperfocal, and the first color is called Mist, and it's a really light, shimmery silver color, but it's got a slight pink shift to it, which I like, and I don't know if it's coming off on camera. And the next color is called Rose, which is a very shimmery rosy pink. And the next color is called Obsidian, which is a very dark, I think blue? It's hard to tell because it's so dark, with multicolored sparkles through it. This trio is called Vignette, and the first color is called Parfait. It's not really showing up that well on my skin. It is a matte light pink, and I think it really needs a white sticky base for it to show up. This color is called Amethyst, and it's very similar to Rose, except it's a little bit deeper and a little bit more purple, and it's got some gold shimmer or sparkles through it, but it's kind of sheer even when you try to build it up. This last color is called Aubergine, and it is a very dark wine-colored shadow, and it's very purple, and it's a matte, and it's also sort of sheer like Amethyst. This last trio is called Aristotype, and the first shade is called Opal, which looks like a matte white in the packaging, but it's actually a very sheer color with a a strong pink shift to it, but I don't know if it'll show up on camera. This next color is called Anger, and it's similar to Dusk, but it's cooler and it has more shimmer in it. And this last color is called Ultramarine, and it is a dark navy with dark blue sparkles and shimmer. These are the last four colors at the bottom of the palette. This light beige is called Bliss, and it's sort of a satin. It doesn't really show up very shimmery at all. This matte dark beige, I'm not really sure how to describe that, is a matte, and it's called Wheat. This medium brown, which is also matte, is called Sable, and it's really warm. And then this matte black, which is actually more of a charcoal than a black, but whatever, is called Blackout. And these colors put together honestly kind of remind me of the Naked palette. The Naked Basics palette. I would pay probably the amount this whole palette costs for just these eyeshadows. They're really good. They're all pigmented. And I like that they're sectioned off into little trios, because that way if you are having an uninspired day or whatever, you can just throw it on and it'll be already marked out for you where you want it, or you can do your basics down at the bottom. And on the next side we have our gel liners and our blushes and highlights. And I'm a little bit concerned about the gel liners. I've swatched them, but they're kind of like bumpy looking, like they have bubbles in them. Is that fine, or should I be concerned? Whoa, and then I let go of the thing. I don't know. I'll probably use them. I hope I don't die. These are all the gel liners swatched. This first bronzy color is shockingly called Bronze, and it's really shimmery, and I would probably use that more as an eyeshadow base and not a liner. The next one is called Midnight Purple, and it's a dark matte purple, which is a little bit patchy, so yeah. The next is called Picasso, and it's a dark navy blue, but it's not so dark that you can't tell it's blue. And then there's a basic black called Caviar, which is really creamy and pigmented. Here's a look at all the cheek colors that the palette comes with. This first one is called Carnation, and it is very shimmery and bright, and it has a gold shimmer to it. It's basically if either Golden Orchid or Flamingo was turned into a blush. This next color is called Flush, and it's a very natural color. It's deeper, but it's still got some slight pink tones to it, so you could either use it as a contour or as a blush depending on your skin tone. This color is called Geranium, and it is also matte, and it is insanely bright coral. Next to it, there's a shade called Rosy, which comes off as a very strong pink with some glitter in it. This shade is Suntan, and it's the only bronzing color, and it's matte, but it's extremely warm, so I probably won't be able to use it until it's summer again, because it'll look weird on my even whiter skin than usual. And this last regular blush color is called Warm Apricot, and it's a lighter coral, and it's shimmery. This palette also comes with two highlight colors, which are Lens and Shimmer. Lens is more of a pink toned highlight, and it's sort of glowy, and Shimmer is very shimmery like the name implies, and it's actually slightly deeper, though it doesn't look like it in the packaging. This palette costs $59, but I think it is so worth it. I will include a link to where you can buy it down below, and I'll just tell you a little bit about how much product you get, so if you're bored now, you can leave. Each eyeshadow comes with 0.04 ounces, which works out to 1.25 grams. And for each cream eyeliner, you get 0.03 ounces, which is 0.9 grams. Each of the highlights comes with 0.35 ounces, which is a lot of highlight, which is 10 grams. And each blush comes with 0.09 ounces, which is 2.8 grams, but you will not go through those blushes fast. They are so pigmented. And I wish there was just a way that you could go in the store and open this up and see if it was in good condition before you bought it. That was the only thing I didn't like, is that the eyeshadow was popping out, and that for someone else the binding had ripped. I don't like that part. But for the amount of product you get, it is so worth the money. And I think that's all I have to say about it. I love you guys. Bye!